Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. Daily Compliance News for June 12, 2023, the Nicola Sturgeon Arrested Edition. And we begin with that story from the Euronews. Former First Minister from Scotland, Nicola Sturgeon, was arrested, then released in a political corruption probe. They are investigating allegations of mishandling of party funds, and Sturgeon, who stepped down as leader of the Scottish National Party, was taken into custody for questioning, but then released. Her arrest follows that of her husband, former SNP chief executive, who was taken in by police shortly after Sturgeon was replaced as First Minister by Humza Yousaf. So it's going to be a long road to hoe for the Scottish National Party if Nicola Sturgeon is convicted of corruption. Next up, from the Wall Street Journal, Risk and Compliance Journal, Richard Vandeford reporting that the U.S. has put a Chinese company with Kentucky ties on the forced labor ban list. The U.S. has blocked the import of goods made by Chinese laser printer maker Nine Star, the majority owner of the U.S. Kentucky-based Lexmark International, over Nine Star's alleged use of forced labor tied to China's Xinjiang region. Goods from Nine Star and 8 Chinese-based subsidiaries will be restricted from entering the U.S. as of Monday because of the company's participation in business practices that target members of persecuted groups, including Uyghurs. So if you've got Chinese investment, you need to look at all of this very carefully. Next up, from the Bloomberg, British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak will keep up his push to give the United Kingdom a leading role in the global regulation of artificial intelligence, while warning industry leaders that nations must act quickly to retain its position as one of the world's tech capitals. Hard to believe the UK is doing this, but if anything can spur the U.S. to action, maybe this is it. And our final story comes to us from Reuters, which reports that at least 2 U.S. large law firms are postponing starting dates for some first-year associates, which underscores the weakened demand for corporate legal work, but also signals an expectation that the cooled M&A market will warm back up. So if you're a lawyer who is unfortunately getting ready for the bar exam, and I know what that's like, your start date may have been pushed back because of the economic uncertainties. But I will guarantee you one thing. Deals will always happen, bankruptcies always happen, and M&A always happens. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.